Welcome, everybody. And when I tell you that I am talking to a special guest today, you just don't even know how special. Now, listen, she was special even before the Food Network got on to Keya Wingfield. She was special to us because she was not only an instructor in our pastry arts program, but Keya Wingfield went through our program. And from then on, it has just been bright lights, big city. Everybody welcome Keya Wingfield. Keya, it is always good to see you, but it is positively bonkers to see you today because in just a couple of days, we are going to see your performance on the Food Network's Spring Baking Championship. So we're going to come back to that because I have got to know the scoop on how all of that happened. But look, let's remind everybody about your connection to Reynolds. Tell us, the quick and dirty here, but how did you think about coming to Reynolds? How old were you? What prompted you to do it?
So hi everyone. My gosh, Reynolds has been such a big part of my life for over a decade. When I started coming to pastry school, and then I've taught there for almost 9 years, and it truly has been part of my life's fabric. How did I come to Reynolds? My husband, I guess, he kind of pushed me to go into the pastry world, and he's the one who got me my first job at a bakery because he was walking by the bakery and he saw a sign for hire. He's like, you should apply here. I'm like, no. But so he pushed me to do that, and then I got the job. And shortly after, I saw there was a pastry arts program that Reynolds was putting forward, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. And that's how I got there.
Keya, okay, and I happen to know because we go back a little bit, people. I happen to know this, which is a fact that again just still amazes me. It's not like you grew up baking all the time. I think you have shared before that this was not something you grew up making, chocolate chip cookies at home. To give us some context around that statement.
Yeah, baking to me was completely foreign. I grew up in a town called Bombay, or now called Mumbai, in India. And baking is just not a part of our culture. Like we don't bake items, we cook on the stovetop or we have microwaves, but no baking. So I'd never seen an oven until I moved to the US 15 years ago, and I saw an oven and I was like, what does that thing do? And okay, I'm going to bake everything. I'm going to bake everything, all of it. So I started to play around with it at home in that little apartment. I did so many little odd jobs. It's not even funny. And then 3 years later or so is when Reynolds happened.
Keya, and this is amazing because among the many things you do, you own Keya and Co. Is it Keya and Company or Keya and Co?
Either is fine.
And you have taken your baking and it is so expressive and innovative, and you've expanded from kind of the traditional things we think of as baked goods.
Right.
And you've done all of these things like in this wild tandem. It's all been happening at once. So when you were an instructor with Reynolds Pastry Arts Program, you were growing your company, Candy Valley. How did you land and how did you juggle to be where you are right now?
So funny thing is, Candy Valley Cake Company, which is the name of my baking company, and Reynolds happened in the same month, in the same year. I started working at Reynolds in January 2010, and that's exactly the month I started Candy Valley. On accident, both the things on accident. So it was not planned or meant to be. But I made, the very first product we made were cake pops. I made some for a friend who said, oh, you should sell them at a farmer's market. Started selling them there, and on complete accident fell into the business. So that's how that kind of took shape.
Look, let me tell you about cake pops, people. Let me put this word in. For years, we have had cake pops at the annual scholarship luncheon.
Correct.
And I have seen people almost, I'm exaggerating when I say fisticuffs, but I have seen some serious side eye warnings to other people to not go for that last cake pop. We planned that cake pop it is a special guest at our scholarship luncheon. It's a big deal when we go to get the cake pops. Who's going to Keya's to get the cake pops? And when we bring them back, they're hidden. We don't put them out anywhere that anybody might just wander by and get one. And at the end of the luncheon, there's always this moment when the staff looks around and we think, is this the year that there are going to be like 5 extra cake pops because maybe a student or a donor didn't show up? And it's a moment for us. I'm not even joking. It is a big moment. The cake pops are indescribably delicious. They are, which is no wonder that the Food Network said, hey, let's find out more about Keya Wingfield. Give us the skinny on this. How did you get called from the Food Network?
I was approached on Instagram to be on the show. Initially, I didn't know what it was for. They just said, hey, do you want to interview? I'm like, all right, I'll try it. I've had the chance to interview with Food Network twice before. The other 2 times it didn't quite pan out. I was too pregnant last time, and this time it was the right time. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the interview, and then we'll see where it goes. We did the first interview, the second one. I believe we did a total of 3, and then they picked me to be on the show.
Keya, as someone who has been watching, and I've, watched my fair share of baking shows, cooking shows, it's still, I'm always on the edge of my seat. At the end, it is the holy episode. There have been so many episodes, but what is it like? I have to know this. What is it like to have to stand there and listen to someone critique your baking?
That's a good question. Okay, it is very hard, but because I've been doing this business for a decade, I'm used to critique. I'm used to people telling me what they think about my food on a daily basis, and the best critique is a reorder. When they order it once and they order again and they keep coming back, that's my critique. In the food business, that's the bottom line. So, yeah.
It has been just okay. And here's the big thing. We are together on Thursday afternoon, the 22nd, and my fantastic colleague Carolyn Steffen is going to work her mojo to have this finished. So maybe by the time people are watching this, they will just be about to see you on the finale, or maybe they've caught the finale.
Right.
And it is just so exciting to know that in a couple of days, we're going to know the answer. Yeah. And I will, and let me say this, because on top of the many reasons we are so proud and awed by you and of you, and this is a serious note, but at a time that would simply be, we would think of as nothing but celebratory, you have had to really endure a personal loss. You've had to be very courageous and brave by losing your newborn.
Right.
But I want to ask you a little bit about your healing space in the kitchen and your craft. Is that helping you with the loss right now?
Yeah. 1,000 times, yes. The kitchen to me is like a temple, and every time I'm in there, it's my way of creating moments for myself that are healing, and that's really all that it's about. I've dealt with death before. I've lost 2 parents. Even during that's exactly how I coped and got through my time. A fantastic cook. People from all over the country would come to try her food. My father was a great photographer on top of being a scientist and a lawyer, and you name it. There's nothing he didn't do. So every time I'm in the kitchen, I channel the 2 of them, and that's how I get through.
Yeah. You are a role model for so many reasons, that being one of them. We are going to channel you. We're going to channel your spirit when we are doing wonderful and difficult things in life, because you are showing us how to do it. I am so excited for you. And as busy as your schedule is, thank you so much for talking to us. Your Reynolds fan club is serious biz. Your Reynolds fan club is so seriously behind you and so proud of you. And we cannot wait to see the finale. Everyone, catch this finale on the Food Network. Monday is 9 p.m., correct?
9 Eastern, correct. Yep.
Yes. We want to make sure that we are sending those good vibes to the TV or your laptop, or however you're watching Keya. Make sure you're sending those celebration vibes and getting behind her on the way. Keya, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on everything. Keya & Co. is outstanding. I have to just ask before we go, do you have a little kernel of advice for our up and coming culinary arts students? It has been quite a year. But if you could think about a little career advice, life advice or career advice to share with them, what would it be?
I think for me, tenacity. That's the name of the game. Anything you do in this life, if you have to be able to pull yourself back up, no matter how many times you fall down. So being tenacious, especially in the food business, the competition is steep. There's a restaurant on every corner. So you really have to be in love with your craft and be very, very, very resilient. That's really,
All right, everybody, you heard it. And listen, I think that's great advice for anybody in any of our programs. But as someone who has been such a part of our family here at Culinary Arts, it's just fantastic to see what you have been able to do from student to where you are now. So everyone, thank you joining me and thanking Keya Wingfield. Keya, we're behind you all the way, and thanks so much for spending this time with us.
Anytime. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.